Now, former Asset Forfeiture Head Willie Hofmeyr is confident that the NPA will secure a conviction against the Guptas. Rajesh and Atul Gupta were arrested in the UAE. This after Interpol had issued a red notice for them. The NPA is now seeking to extradite the two state capture masterminds. And Hofmeyr joins us live now for more on this. Mr. Hofmeyr, thank you for your time. And good morning to you. Let's talk about, I suppose, your confidence in the NPA, if any, that they will indeed, have a successful prosecution. We will see the Guptas in South Africa, because that seems to be, right, how do I put it? It seems to be the concern from South Africans as to whether or not the two brothers will have their day in court.
Yeah, I suppose we all have been through this period of state capture, and I think many people are still worried about the capacity of law enforcement. But I do think that both the Hawks under General Labia and the NPA under Tumelo Mothotoane have really made a lot of progress in rebuilding their organizations. So while I think we still have a lot of some way to go to get back to where we were in the past, I do think that there is the capacity now to deal with what will be a very complicated case. And I think we have the right people in the right places to do that.
Yeah. You speak about rebuilding of the NPA. Let's touch on for a moment the damage with which the State Capture Commission, the report, has done to the NPA. I mean, what damage has it caused the entity, the organization?
Well, I think it was more the fact that bad people were employed to run the NPA, like Sean Abrams. And I think they did a lot of damage to the organization. I think we lost quite a lot of good people who were not prepared to work under somebody like that. So it is a question of getting good people into the organizations and rebuilding our capacity to do really complicated prosecutions, which have not been done for some time. So it will be a challenge, but I think the new leadership of the NPA is capable of dealing with those challenges and dealing with it effectively.
Yeah, and we know the Guptas, Mr. Hofmeyr, have been accused of corruption, of money laundering, of fraud. There are a lot of allegations that they face, but is it possible that they would be tried on everything that is against them? So realistically, expectations are managed. There's the issue around the Estina dairy farm, but we know there are also other allegations that they face. What's realistic here in terms of them facing prosecution?
Listen, to some degree, when you're dealing with somebody or people who have to face so many charges potentially, I think that the prosecution strategy is better to focus on some aspects of what they did, where the evidence is clear and we have good witnesses to present the evidence. So I don't think we should be trying to charge them for everything that they've done wrong. They're going to be in jail for quite a long time if they're found guilty. But we do not want a trial, or I don't think it's a good idea to have a trial that tries to delve into everything they did, and which may then go on for 5 or 10 years before we actually have an outcome of that trial.
And why not? Are you saying it's not necessary or possible because of how long it would take? Because I can imagine those who obviously have strong conviction that they were done wrong by the Guptas would want to see justice, irrespective of how long that case might take. Why are you of the view that perhaps it's not necessary to do so?
It's not that it's not necessary, but I think we have to be realistic about the capacity of law enforcement, so NPA and the Hawks at the moment, and the masses of other state capture cases that need to be done as well at the same time. So I think it's a valid prosecution strategy, and I'm not sure if that is their actual strategy, but it's a valid strategy to take some of the matters where you have a good case which is less complicated, and to prosecute on that case and at least get people convicted and into jail.
Yeah.
Further charges can be brought against them at a later stage, but I think the urgent thing that South Africans want to see is, as they say, for some people to put on the orange overalls.
And for a case like this, just in terms of time-wise, how long can a case of this nature take, realistically?
Well, we've seen some cases in South Africa that has gone on for a very long time, when people simply uses all the mechanisms they have to delay. But I do think that we have a stronger NPA now, but yeah, I suspect the case would be going on for at least the next 5 years, if you take account of the fact that they will bring appeal. If they are convicted, they will appeal those decisions. They'll go to the appeal court. They may go to the Constitutional Court. So all of those things will take time. But at least, hopefully, at some stage, they will be in jail while all the other litigation goes on.
I'm just keen to know what is happening behind the doors at the NPA offices right now. What steps are they taking to ensure that the brothers are indeed back in South Africa and they do face their time in court? What processes right now is the NPA most probably taking?
I think the major processes will be to prepare the case for trial. That means that you need your team of prosecutors. They need to go through the evidence. They need to test the evidence, debate where they have strong evidence, where the evidence may be less strong, and to focus on those areas where they are the strongest cases.
All right, well, we leave it there. I appreciate you speaking to us. Willie Hofmeyr speaking to us this morning, former head of the Asset Forfeiture Unit, talking about the NPA, the Guptas, how realistic it is to prosecute them as a country on all those charges, what the NPA probably is doing right now behind those closed doors.